Argentina almost went home tonight. Not to Brazil, not to France, Cape Verde, a nation of 500,000 people playing in their first ever World Cup. And nobody's talking about the part that actually matters. Everyone's already moved on. Messi scored, Argentina won, print the headline, roll the highlight reel. 20th World Cup goal, 8 straight games with a goal, Golden Boot lead extended. That's the story everyone's telling you right now. Here's what they're not telling you. Cape Verde had 36% possession, 36, and they had 16 shots. 16 shots against the reigning champions in extra time with everything on the line. That's not a plucky underdog making it interesting. That's a team that should not have been in that position at all. Over 90, then 120 minutes, actually threatening to end Lionel Messi's World Cup on a Saturday afternoon in July. Think about what that means. This is a Cape Verde side that drew with Spain, drew with Uruguay, beat Saudi Arabia to get here. Everyone called that the surprise package of the group stage and left it there. Cute story, nice underdogs, moving on to the real contenders. But that's the mistake, because the same profile of team, low possession, direct, physical, comfortable absorbing pressure for long stretches, just took Argentina to the wire. And Argentina's next opponent is playing almost exactly that way. Egypt just won their own penalty shootout, 4-2 over Australia, after a 1-1 draw, after 120 minutes of exactly the same kind of low possession, high resistance football that nearly finished Argentina tonight. Egypt aren't walking into that round of 16 match as a footnote. They're walking in with the blueprint already tested on Messi himself 3 days before their own match by a team with a fraction of Egypt's quality. That's the connection nobody's drawing. Cape Verde didn't just almost beat Argentina. Cape Verde handed Egypt the game plan. So let's actually look at why this worked, because it's not luck, and it's not just Messi having a rough 40 minutes. Argentina's problem tonight wasn't going forward. It was never going forward. Messi found the pass, made the run, scored the goal. The attack is fine. The attack was always going to be fine. The problem is what happens the moment Argentina loses the ball in a mid-block. Cape Verde sat deep, absorbed the pressure, and the instant they won possession back, they had numbers moving into space before Argentina's backline had reset. 16 shots isn't 16 moments of individual brilliance. It's 16 moments where the same structural gap opened up over and over because nobody fixed it at halftime. That's not a one-game problem. That's a pattern, and patterns get scouted. Egypt's coaching staff watched that match with a highlighter in hand. Every single team left in this bracket did, but Egypt specifically has the profile to exploit it. A team that's now twice in this tournament shown it can sit in a mid-block, survive waves of pressure, and win the moments that matter in extra time and on penalties. They didn't get to the round of 16 by accident. They got here by being built for exactly this kind of match. Look at the pattern across both their games. Draw the pressure in, concede the possession stat, make the opponent think they're controlling something, and then win the moment that's actually being contested. The box, the set piece, the shootout. Now here's where it gets uncomfortable for Argentina fans. Messi is not getting fresher as this tournament goes on, and 120 minutes against Cape Verde on top of everything else already in the legs is not nothing. Extra time takes something out of a squad that doesn't show up on a stat sheet. Recovery windows get compressed, sharpness in the final third dips half a yard, and half a yard is the exact margin these knockout games are being decided on right now. If Argentina go into the Egypt match with the same mid-block issue unaddressed, they're not facing a team that stumbles into chances. They're facing a team that's shown on this exact stage days ago that it knows how to generate them on purpose and generate them late when legs are heaviest and concentration is thinnest. And this is where the officiation conversation matters too, because FIFPro came out today publicly saying players at this World Cup need more protection, more oversight during exactly this stretch of the tournament. That statement didn't come out of nowhere. It came out during a run of penalties decided on knife-edge contact in the box. When you've got that many knockout games hinging on split-second calls, one way instead of the other has never been thinner. One XG model doesn't care about that. A referee's whistle does. And when the union representing the players themselves is on record saying the protections aren't where they need to be right now, that's not a side note you skip past. That's a flashing warning light hanging over every single one of these knockout matches, Argentina-Egypt very much included, given how physical this exact style of fixed, sitting there in plain sight from tonight's match. An opponent built specifically to exploit that weakness with 2 knockout matches of evidence already on the board, and a tournament-wide admission that the margins deciding these games are getting more contested, not less, right as the stakes get highest. That's not 3 separate stories. That's one story about where control in this tournament actually sits right now, and it's not sitting with the favorites the way everyone assumes. And here's the part that should really worry Argentina fans specifically. This isn't a hypothetical matchup against a team that might play this way. It's a confirmed matchup in days against the team that has now done this twice on the biggest stage in the sport and won both times. There's no scouting uncertainty here. Egypt's approach is on film, it's repeatable, and it's already worked once tonight against this exact opponent, just wearing a different shirt. So here's the call. Argentina do not have a comfortable 90 minutes against Egypt. I'll go further. This goes to extra time again. Egypt sit in, they survive the same way they survived Australia, and they generate at least one clear extra time chance off exactly the same mid-block gap Cape Verde just found. Whether they convert it is genuinely 50-50. Whether the chance exists, I'm confident about that. Here's the one scenario that proves me completely wrong. If Argentina come out and win this comfortably in 90 minutes, clean sheet, multiple goals, no drama, that tells you the coaching staff saw the tape I just described and actually fixed it. That's the tell. Watch the first 20 minutes. If Argentina's press is aggressive and organized, instead of leaving that same mid-block gap open every time they lose the ball, this whole prediction falls apart. And honestly, I'll be glad to be wrong, because it means the team we all expected to dominate this tournament is actually still in control of it. If that gap is still there in minute 20 though, get ready for a long night. Extra time again, or clean sheet, put your pick in the comments right now, because one of us is about to be very right. Next up, we're watching exactly how Pochettino rebuilds that USMT attack with Balogun suspended. That decision drops within days.